So we're coming to the end of week 7. Time is flying at the moment, and as per usual, tomorrow is weigh-in day, and I'm feeling fairly confident about tomorrow. I've been eating very well. I've been doing a lot of walking this week, actually, a little bit more than usual. And so, yeah, well, we'll see what the scales say tomorrow. Now, this week, yes, as I said, I've eaten quite well, still staying within my calorie count. And I must say, I do need to mention the board of lunch cookbooks as well, because they're definitely helping with meal preps, because there's always some good recipe in there that we are trying. Tried another one last night with the in-laws, and it was another hit. And I think what makes it so good is, yes, it is in the slow cooker, but they're just so easy to prepare. For most of the recipes, there's no real prep work for it. You just bung everything into the slow cooker, cook it for 5 to 7 hours, and it's done. The only thing extra is, rice, pasta, or anything like that you might need with it, and plenty of veg as well on the side. And I think, when you're on this type of journey, you do need something to make it a lot easier. But also, speaking to Rachel over the last week or so, we haven't eaten badly. We're actually probably eating more variety now than we ever did. And it's real tasty food. It's not bland or anything. It's highly flavoursome. So if you are getting kind of stuck with your, what foods can I eat and all that, I would highly recommend board of lunch. And saying that as well, we also use the Pinch of Num books. And who says you can't have a bit of a cheat when you are trying to lose weight? On Monday we actually used one of Pinch of Num's recipes for Philly cheesesteak. Now, yes, it's not like the ones that you might go out and buy where it's just full of processed cheese and stuff like that. Nothing like that. Still got the steak, still got the essence of a Philly cheesesteak, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And we had some sweet potato fries with it and a lot of salad. And it kind of really hit the spot when when you're thinking, oh, I really could do with a takeaway or something like that. We haven't felt like that at all over the last 7 weeks, because some of the foods we're eating are really good, and some of them are very similar to takeaways, fakeaways. So that has been really great. So I would urge you, if you are struggling for meal ideas and you want to know the calories that are in the meals, and to help you that way, then again, I do strongly recommend board of lunch or Pinch of Num cookbooks. They really are great. Now, as I said, I've done quite a lot of walking this week. I think the only day this week that I haven't walked so far is Monday, and tomorrow probably won't be walking either. And then we'll kind of start the cycle again over the weekend. Sunday being Mother's Day, I'm not sure I'll get away with doing a walk then, but we'll see. Maybe we can do a family walk instead. But I've tried to use my time wisely when I go on these walks. So kind of like every Thursday when I do these walks, I do these update videos, because it's a way for me to do that, and it means I don't have to record it outside of that time. But I've also, as you've seen in a lot of my videos, I'm wearing headphones. I listen to a lot of audiobooks and podcasts. A lot of them are to do with self-development or kind of business books, and it just stimulates the mind, so you're not always just in your own kind of echo chamber, especially if you work for yourself and you spend a lot of time alone. Having this time where getting new ideas and just kind of refreshing the mind, and not constantly just thinking about work and other things like that. It gives you time to be a bit more creative. But one thing that I've been trying to do as well, and I have started doing this week, is trying to be even more effective. So yes, I'll kind of do these types of videos, still listening to the audiobooks, etc. But sometimes when it comes to writing blog posts and all that for the business, or coming up with ideas for YouTube videos, I do have another channel focused on helping coaches, etc., with their online marketing tech. And sometimes, sitting in front of a computer screen trying to come up with ideas just doesn't work for me. I'm not naturally a writer, so sitting in front of a computer screen just staring at that cursor, I could sit there for ages and not write a word. Or if it does come out, it's very formal, not the kind of conversational style that I would prefer. So I had been doing this a few years ago, and then I kind of stopped. I don't know why, but this is why I do videos, because I find I can get my ideas out in those. I find them a lot easier. Some videos are scripted, but a lot of them just have bullet points just to try and keep me on track, and I can just talk about that topic. So I can talk my ideas out, but trying to write them down can always be a bit of a struggle. So what I've been trialing this week, especially as I'm working on a new version of my website, and I needed to write some copy for some of my services, is while I'm doing these walks, I've got this mic on, but connected to my phone, and I use an app called Otter, and it's like a transcription app, AI, and I must say it is very good. It does catch 99.9% of the words that I say. It is pretty accurate. And while I'm walking, I can just talk those ideas out, and it will transcribe everything in real time. And I did this for my new about page, for some of the other services, and for my kind of about story, I spoke for 15-17 minutes, something like that. Now, yes, it's there's a lot of ideas in that copy that gets generated, but what I then do is I take it, and I actually do use ChatGPT, and I just paste that whole kind of transcription in there. And I've done a lot of work with ChatGPT, so it does know my tone, my voice, that type of thing, my ideas, the type of client that I'm trying to attract, etc. The ideal client profile. And I put a lot of that copy in there, and I just ask it to structure that content in a more readable format. So using titles, subtitles, different headings, and all of that in there, so that it is structured, for the website, or for anything else that I want to use that for. And I must say I'm getting some really decent results, and it is still in my tone. It's used every the words that I've used, some of my kind of catchphrases as well. So it does really work, Not saying it's perfect. You might still need to go in there and edit a few bits and pieces, but using this process, I'm 90% done, which is better than nothing. So if you are struggling with writing copy for anything, and I'm going to be using this for my blog posts, I also used it to create some social media posts and things like that as well, and it's just allowing me to get those ideas out and not just staring at a blank piece of paper or screen and writing more formally. I don't know why, but sometimes when I write stuff, it just comes out more formal, not conversational. So actually just talking to myself, and if someone actually walked past me, they would think I'm a bit crazy, but maybe that's been a little bit more of the norm these days, with people taking selfies and creating their own videos for social media. Maybe it's a bit more of the norm now. No one's actually come up to me and asked me what I'm doing, so maybe they're just too scared to. But yeah, I just found that another way to use this time while I'm walking. So it's kind of a triple whammy. I'm getting the walks in, refreshing my mind with the audio books and podcasts, but now creating other types of content in written form, not just video. So hopefully I can be a bit more prolific with creating that type of content for the business. But if you've got any other ideas like that and how you could maybe use your time when you're going on these walks, I know some people just want to concentrate and just do the walk, but I find doing this just allows me to get more done. So yeah, that's quite a long update for this week, not necessarily all just on fitness, but how I'm using the time while I'm doing that kind of fitness work as well. So I hope you found this update useful, and fingers crossed for a good result tomorrow on the scales. And I'll see you next week for another update.